know about better, but I have gotten bigger since I got here.
Man.
Yeah,
Wrong place.
I hear that. Anyway, what's going on?
We got a lot going on with the draft coming up, and you got the free agency, especially going that far to heavy right now.
And that's
And,
not mentioning basketball and the
yeah, NCAA is
March
going.
Madness and everything else.
Yes.
I
Yes.
was watching last night. I was watching the Buckeyes losing a heartbreaker, and then saw Akron U pull off another win. So they're in Akron's in the MAC championship.
Okay.
They got a beast of a player though, a kid named Ricky Friedman. It was like he was a MAC player of the year.
And I just texted Eric; he's not available. So,
Okay.
wonder where Mister Nate's at. You heard anything from him?
Hadn't other than what he's doing. They have an inspection
Home
today.
inspection today.
After the fire, I guess they're still
Battling.
trying to get things back together.
Yeah, that stuff happens.
Yeah.
We've had actually some pretty interesting stuff up here in regarding the Browns.
There hasn't been much going on with the Cowboys.
Not at all. Not at all.
A long snapper and a linebacker, that's all they've gotten so far.
Yeah.
We've had some interesting additions over here. If they're going to work out, that's everybody's question. And I guess it'll remain to be seen, but I'm not holding my breath. I think they've probably come down at least 10 or 15% as far as talent.
Yeah, I've seen they up though Judy.
They got him. They've added some offense. They've added a couple of defensive players that I don't know if they're going to work out or not. What bothers me, and we discussed this on the other show that Eric and I did Thursday. We had a guest on there by the name of Matt Fontana.
Springstone's coming in.
Here comes Springsteen himself is coming in.
Waters.
I guess we'll wait till he gets in here.
Yeah. I saw the balls pop up. I thought maybe it was Springsteen.
Yeah, it is Springsteen. Listen. Hey, Nate, can you sing "Born in the USA" for us?
Born in the USA.
Don't give up your day job.
Oh God!
That was a Springsteen.
My ears are bleeding already.
That was a Springsteen voice, man. Don't hate, man. Don't hate.
I thought that was Dirk Nowitzki right there.
Oh God!
All right, getting back to what we were talking about here. We were discussing what's going on in the world of the Browns and everybody else. They've had a couple of additions here. They picked up Judy. They've added a decent was it Dick Vermeil or Vrabel, Mike Vrabel,
yeah,
as a coaching
consultant,
whatever the heck that is. But,
the coaching staff.
The stuff that they're adding here, they're giving them all 1-year contracts, and we were discussing this on the Nanosecond show Thursday night, and we'd had a guy by the name of Matt Fontana in here that was a local sports guy, and he's pretty up on it because he was an afternoon drive host for that particular station up here. And we were talking, and I said, what bothers me here is they're only giving these guys 1-year contracts. And he tells me, he says, it's not really a bad thing. He says what's happening is they're actually coming to the team with a 1-year contract, hoping for a 3. And he says if they're good enough and they perform well enough, they're going to get a 3-year contract out of it. And if not, they're just put down the road.
There you go.
And that kind of made a lot of sense.
Well, Barry's, Andrew Barry is pretty smart GM in terms of doing that. I've noticed that.
I think we're going to see more of that.
But you see it all around the NFL anyways, too. So.
Yeah, we start to see more of that. And in other words, you're going to earn your spot.
Mm-hmm.
When we part ways.
What actually, though, like I said, though, that kind of, if you're doing that with half your team or half your offense or defense, you got issues. I don't care what they say.
I don't know if, I don't know who that is. I guess I should have.
You're okay. You're a little quiet, Nate.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you are.
My wife had just slid a picture in front of me. It was Anthony and Deborah Flack. And I was trying to ask her, you know who that is? I said, yeah, that's Anthony. But I'm trying to get my screen still looking a little weird here. Trying to, whatever it is, what it is. Can't get it to do everything it's supposed to do. But
Sure, you're doing.
Okay.
Hey, you look good over on this side.
Yeah. Cut everything off, man. Shaved off and got rid of the fro too.
Got rid of the fro.
You got the fro gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you're doing that with half of the team, you got an issue, and there's no telling what you're going to get out of it.
Son, I guess.
Yes.
Well, Pat, and I would say it's half the team, but you're going to get some guys in. And the thing of it is that you get guys that are hungry for a spot. And there's no perfect way with it, because if you look at it, sometimes you sign guys that you shouldn't to multi-year deals. Cowboys, they didn't re-sign, for instance, Dallas didn't re-sign Tony Pollard, and understandably so, but they had franchise tagged him 1 year, and he actually was, he didn't have a great season. He really didn't. And I think probably because to use him as a every down back is probably not the best move.
Never been the same.
But anyway, so sometimes it, I think some of the guys you're getting depends on who you get,
And that's another thing as far as with this particular team. You give up. You sign that Jameson Winston or whatever the heck his name is to a for the backup quarterback, and you let the best thing that's happened to the Browns in 20 years go to the Colts. What are you thinking here? Are you just not? And the bad part about it is you could have signed Flacco for $200,000 less, because what he got over there was, or what I think they signed that Jameson for, was that $8.9 million for the year?
No, it was the same contract basically.
And you could have had the swagger and everything, and it would have helped the team out. Are they afraid of what it was going to do to our favorite quarterback?
Who, Baker?
I'm kind of in agreement with you, Pat. I'm thinking maybe they didn't want to sign Flacco because they felt the pressure to play in the event that Deshaun doesn't perform. I'm like, man, because once to me, I'm sorry, man. The Jameis Winston signing is. I'm trying to. I can't wrap my hands around that, and I can't figure that out, man. He's not that dude, man. He's not that guy at all. and I can't understand it. I just don't understand it. I don't see what they're accomplishing by that at all. I'm like, if I was going to get a quarterback and I was trying to, I mean, I can't, no way I look at it, can I figure out the sense in that signing to let Flacco go for Jameis Winston. I get it, he's younger, but why would you want a guy that young if you think you got your franchise quarterback?
But when you look at this, Nate, the whole thing just looks stupid. You know, you've got a guy there, you in Flacco, that can go in there in a pinch, and of course, then again, when you start looking at the last game that he played here, you start wondering about it.
Mhm.
But
Right,
so
right.
it starts equaling what
But
Jameson was, and that's he's thrown a ton of interceptions.
But so did Flacco last year too. So
Yeah, but man, I can't rock with Jameson, man.
yeah.
Uh,
Jameson's younger than Flacco, and he's had no real success in his career. Flacco has had success in his career. I get he's older. You know, he was a cheap fix, and he did have some success last year, even though, you know, he played a miserable last game, but he had some success last year. And he's got a history of having success. He has a Super Bowl. I mean, granted, Ravens are a great team, but, you
uh,
know, the Ravens were a great team when he won a Super Bowl. But the Browns, you know, have a great roster. But Jameson has no, he has no, he has nothing to demonstrate, man. That I don't understand it. I mean, there was other. I mean, I don't get it. I just don't.
okay, okay. When you say that, now just remember when Flacco was with the Jets,
Mhm.
he didn't look good at all. He looked bad. He looked
And
really bad.
when
Uh,
does Jameson look good?
and and you know what? And I somewhat agree with you, but I'm gonna say this with Jameson. Okay, if you look at okay, he was with Tampa Bay. Now keep in mind when he was with Tampa Bay, who was his receivers? You know, they made it sound like that was the exact same team when Brady went there. No, it wasn't. And I'm not a Jameson Winston fan, but and then when he went to the Saints, uh, you know, what's his name got injured? What's the receiver? That was
Thomas,
Thomas. Yeah,
Michael Thomas.
yeah. Michael Thomas was injured, and then he's gone. But he didn't. In his defense, he didn't have much to throw it to when you start comparing around the league. He didn't have the best receivers. Now, just saying that, just throwing that out there. But hey, man, and then we talking backups, man. Deshaun's gonna come back. He's gonna be the old Deshaun, and he's gonna play well.
yeah, he's
So
going
he's
to
gonna
be
play
an old
like
Deshaun, all right.
so he's gonna play
Yeah.
like an old Deshaun, huh? Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
Talking about quarterbacks too, though. We've been talking about this guy for a while. It's Justin Fields. What's going on with him?
that's interesting. You know, because the
But
Justin
I have
Fields
I
deal,
have a theory too, but we'll see.
they're so. I don't. I mean, there's so many different things to look at right there. Okay, right now they've loaded up. Hey, right now they loaded up with two nice receivers.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
and hey, just imagine if they loaded up with those two receivers and then go instead of and keep Justin Fields and go after Marvin Harrison. Look at that. That receiving corps would be just off the hook.
I think they need to do. I think they need to do something like that. Actually, I don't.
You would have
You know,
DJ
everybody.
Moore, Keenan Allen, and Marvin Harrison as your three receivers. Oh my God. Who
Yeah,
do
I
you
don't. I don't. I don't. You know, they think that man. They talking about, man. This guy got, man, Patrick Mahomes' ability. I'm like, man, they need to cut that out. I don't. You know, no doubt. You know, he's a good quarterback. I don't. I don't. You know, I mean, when you start looking at these cats that are just generational type talents, and then you so quick that he's got this and he's got no. I'm gonna go out on the limb now. He's not Patrick Mahomes. It's not even the world. It's not even that way to where you're going to see like three Patrick Mahomes in the league at the same time. It's just not going to happen. We'll see another, just like Brady. You're not going to see three Bradys in the league at the same time. Not going to happen. It's going to be Patrick Mahomes. He's going to be, heads and shoulders above. And then, we'll have these really fantastic quarterbacks and this, that, and the other. But it's not going to be another Patrick Mahomes or something like that for another 10, 12 years or something. Just the same thing it was with Brady. It's not going to be that way. So they need to stop with that, pump their brakes. You got Justin Fields, who's shown that he has some ability, but he had nothing to work with since he's been there. And for them to, rag on this man the way they do, he shows that he's indecisive and this, that. I'm like, when he was at Ohio State, when he had something to work with, he was a great quarterback. So now if you can get him something to work with now, I think he'll be a great quarterback. But I wouldn't pull the trigger and let him go that quick. And I definitely wouldn't relegate him to a backup quarterback and bring in a rookie, with the thing on it where you're going to play this year. And then, ultimately we're going to stick this guy in here to take your place. And if that's the case, man, hopefully he can ball out, man, get out of there. Maybe he can wind up in Cleveland. But
he can be a good backup to better.
He might take Deshaun's place.
Mm-hmm.
I got another idea. How about it? How about they send him to Dallas?
Yes. Absolutely.
Jameson?
No.
Justin Fields.
Fields. Let him come down there and take Dak's place.
Dak's right now in some legal troubles right now.
Yeah.
Well,
and I don't understand that.
We can understand legal problems up here in Ohio.
Yeah. And because Dak went after this person, and now this person say, "Oh no, I'm coming right back at you," and it's
starting to become a drama.
And that's I don't know. We see people that are, I don't know the story, but looks like gold digging to me, but it is what it is. Heck, for that matter, Jerry's still in trouble if you say that, because of that woman that keeps saying that, no, I don't want the money. I want to be, basically I want to be part of Jones' family. But But
I mean, was Dak pension booties?
No, what was that? I forget what the drama was around it, but it was one of those ones where Dak was like, "Hey, no, you're not going to smear me. I'm suing you." And now it's okay. Now I'm suing you. I don't know what happened on that deal. So I hadn't really, because I don't know what the merits are to it, and I hadn't really paid a whole lot of attention to it. I get tired of hearing that type of stuff pop up. And keep in mind, you blow up, somebody's coming after you. It is what it is. You really start to blow up and you're a multi-millionaire, somebody's coming after you. And you have to really, really guard yourself. Somebody coming after you for what you did to them in the second grade, man. Come on. It's what it is anymore. But so I don't know what the whole ordeal is on that. But the other thing is, Dak sounds like he wants to play for his next contract because he wasn't ready to sign a deal. And Dallas is going to have to pay some players. They come up all together there, they're going to have to pay some players. So they hadn't moved much on anything. Dallas really hasn't. So they've been kind of stagnant where other teams have made moves to get better. And I think Dallas is going to be what they are going to be. They're going to be.
Yeah, they're all in right now.
They're going to be. Yeah, I hear what Jerry Jones says. Speaking of that, we're going to get a Jerry Jones relative on here before too long. Kyle Greenway. You ought to hear a good Jerry Jones. But we'll get a Jerry Jones relative on. We'll get someone close to the Jones family to speak on Jerry's behalf. Kyle.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
It would be pretty cool to have a one of these sports guys that I know on the same day that that's going to happen. Maybe we can arrange that.
Well, after the show, I'll tell you about this guy.
Well,
But
I know a
anyway.
couple of guys that would really fit in with something like that, especially if they've got a sense of humor.
Yeah, because he. This is what it is. It is what it is. Sense of humor. You got to hear him when he's talking like Jerry Jones. But anyway, I'm thinking, when y'all was talking about the Justin Fields deal, I was like, man, I'd like to have him in Dallas. That's all I can think of. So and don't get me wrong, Dak is still a good quarterback. He's not, he's a good quarterback. But
a lot of this stuff, especially with Dak and everybody, a lot of these quarterbacks, when they're there for 4 or 5 years, start to get stagnant. And it seems like that's what's happening with you guys down there. It's not that he's a bad quarterback. I mean, look at what we let go up here with Baker. Baker was not a bad quarterback. He just was immature as hell, and nobody backed him.
Yes, and that was the thing.
And when you start losing that finesse, that power to play, I guess you could just paraphrasing an old Stallone movie. He lost the eye of the tiger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just like a nice boy up there in New England now, Jaguar, Mac Daddy.
Oh yeah, Mac Jones. Nate, you were high on Mac Jones, weren't you?
He's now back to Trevor Lawrence.
But in all seriousness, and don't get me wrong, because and we talked about it the other week. We talked about with that. First off, Dallas could not run the football. They couldn't run the football. So and we had a throw first league, but they could hardly run the ball at all. And that was one of the things about them. And then the other thing is Dallas is great pass rushers they had. They were horrible against the run. So there's some other components to that. And to put it all on Dak, I couldn't. Don't get me wrong. I just couldn't. Now, but we all know there's still better quarterbacks out there. But when we looked the other week, if you look at the rankings and where they're rated and quarterback rankings and everything, Dak is well inside the top 10.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And I, for 49er fans out there, I wish they were watching, but for 49er fans, I think if you taken Purdy out of that lineup and put Dak in there, they'd be the same team for 49ers. I think if you took Dak out and put Kirk Cousins in there, I think they'd be the same team. There's some quarterbacks that are good quarterbacks.
Maybe Justin may wind up in Washington. That's still a chance.
Mm-hmm.
That would help.
I saw a meme the other day because they signed a bunch of folks, and they've been busy. And what was the meme the other day? Some meme said that they signed the most people, and they're going to be the worst team. I'm like, okay, that's mean, but I don't know.
Right.
I think it's going to take a while for all that to come together. Mm-hmm. With Washington. I think it's going to take a while. I don't think it's going to click like that.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting this year because there's a lot of change, especially at running back this year. There are a lot of running backs signed with different teams this year.
That makes me laugh though, man. What would I don't understand Dallas' philosophy.
And getting rid of Pollard.
Running backs out there to be had, and they just didn't worry about it. Saquon, Henry. I mean,
Pollard even resigned.
top guys out there, man. They ain't worried about it, man.
And you know what? In this year's draft, it's not going to be a strong draft for running backs either.
No, next year, I think it's going to be the strongest.
Yeah.
Because I think next year, Trayvon Henderson is supposed to be predicted the top running back, I believe.
It's amazing. Dallas is interesting.
They are interesting.
There was a rumor, though, that they were possibly looking at J.K. J.K. Dobbins, maybe.
Because but
if he can stay free, he'd be a good.
He can't. He's been struggling with injuries, man. And now his entire short career thus far.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the other thing is I think Dallas looks at, okay, these guys can't, a running back, the abuse that a running back is going to take, he's, about 4 years is it for a running back, top years. Now Christian McCaffrey seems to have been something, he's just something else.
Man. Well, his brother's coming out this year from Rice. And they come to comparison almost identical, just that his brother's more of a wide receiver. And
that's the thing is that also in that, how durable can you be? And I watched Christian McCaffrey run, and I'm just saying, man, how long can he last? Because he is not a big guy when it comes to running backs.
He's different.
Yeah, he's different,
man.
But again, I mean, they got some different animals there that him and Deebo Samuels, those guys are just, they're different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm watching, I'm looking to see, and I'm saying, how long can he last doing what he does?
Right now, man, don't look like no slowdown any.
It really doesn't.
Well, as far as the how long can he last category, we 3-4 years ago said the same thing about Baltimore's quarterback. How long can he last playing like that? Y'all remember that? I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And he's still there, and he's flipping voted best quarterback in the league.
Now, and you know what? Maybe with the signing of, you bring in a big back like they did, let's see what happens. Because it just, and part of that to me is I think, now y'all may call me crazy on this one, but I think it should be time for a coaching change up there. Because that dude, the way they run that offense, they could get more.
As far as Baltimore,
they haven't had too much, to be honest. As of late, and so I don't know. They hadn't had a lot.
As far as Baltimore goes, it seems like he's running the team pretty much the same way his brother was running the Michigan team. There's a lot of similarities there, and I'll bet they confer it on a regular basis. Because of the fact that there was a couple of NFL people that went and joined the Michigan team.
Yeah. Well, I can't say that they were run the same way because when I look at the offense, but if you can find a way to spread that offense out, and he's got you put those receivers out there, and he really hasn't had great receivers. He really hasn't. That's another team where they hadn't had the best. When you start talking about top receivers, he hasn't had them.
Harbaugh.
Oh no, I'm talking about with Baltimore.
Yeah, Harbaugh.
Yeah, with Harbaugh. Yeah.
I'm talking about the other Harbaugh's doing the same thing, getting good receivers.
I plugged the
They got he's traded on Keenan Allen to Chicago.
years.
Because
Because I can't get this thing to move in order to even do anything. And I know it's because of that right there right now.
But if you spread that offense out more, and you got some really good receivers, and now it's like, okay, Lamar Jackson is just that dude with his legs. He really is.
Yeah, well, sure, why not? Yeah, thanks, man.
So what would, then how do you stop him?
Serious.
Except for the fact he happens to be over there with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. And so Joe Cool over there.
It's true. You're a sheep, buckler. This is telling us.
Yeah. Anyway, we can let's switch to some basketball.
Yeah.
We've destroyed the NFL enough for this week.
Well.
Yeah. Talking about basketball, and then I see we got the NCAA's going right now,
Yeah.
So getting ready to come spike up here real hot and heavy next week.
Yeah. As we go into that, do you guys see the little semi-brawl that they had, the ladies there, South Carolina and LSU?
Yes, that's crazy.
I didn't see it, I just heard of it. And I know that, they blasted, the coach for her response and whatnot. But I didn't see it, so and it's been, on the news they were talking about it.
Staley and what's the LSU coach? She's flashy, I know that.
But what was funny was, I looked at it, and what was sad about it all was, well, first off, someone brought up a good point, and they said, the fact that women's basketball is getting to be that competitive amongst the women out there playing, that they're ready to go at each other like that is it's like, the guys, okay. But what I thought was sad was when old boy jumps over the table and he gets down there and you look at him amongst those girls, man, he's a guy, don't get me wrong. But I'm like, come on, dude. Keep your tail off the floor.
Yeah, he's trying to protect his sister. I'm like, man, sister got a whole team behind him, man. Yeah, it's kind of strange. I guess he wasn't really thinking at the time.
Mm-hmm. Obviously not.
Yeah, you're going to jump in a girl fight, man.
Come on, man.
That's
a lose-lose. Because if you beat up a girl, man, you are, come on, in today's, you're a punk for beating up a girl.
And the sad thing is,
if you lose to a girl, you got your butt kicked by a girl. So that's a lose-lose.
Yeah, exactly.
But in that, there's certain things you don't do. Come on.
Boy. Yeah,
he jumps over there like that, and I'm like, come on, really?
But yeah, I hadn't. I watched a little bit of the Carolina game yesterday, but
yeah,
I didn't watch the whole game.
I split off a little bit. Watched a little bit of that. Watched the Ohio State game.
Yeah, I watched a little Ohio State game,
and I also watched a little bit of the Akron U game. Akron U.
Watch Akron U playing.
Akron U's got a kid named Enrique Freeman. Man, that dude is a beast. He leads the nation in rebounding. He had in the game last night, he had 24 points, 22 rebounds, and 7 blocks.
Wow, sound like a
He's up for
sound
the
like
Karl
Anthony
Malone
Davis.
Award, I guess, for the top power forward in the country. He's one of the top 5.
But so I hadn't watched a lot of college this year. Watched some NBA. One of the NBA highlights that I've enjoyed seeing though, when Ant-Man hit his head on the rim, blocking the shot.
Yeah. Did you see that dunk sent to you guys on the messenger or through the message?
Oh no, I didn't get it. I
Oh
tried to click
man,
on it.
that's the dunk of the year right now. Jalen Green. He posterized somebody. Check it out when you get a chance, man. And it's definitely the dunk of the year so far.
So what do y'all think, man? Who's coming out the West?
Denver.
And East? Who's coming out the East?
Ooh, man. I say Boston, but I think they're kind of overrated right now, but we'll see.
They get healthy, Cleveland.
Yeah.
So you don't think Phoenix can get it together here? They got enough time to get it together?
Nah.
I don't. A couple of things. First off, who I hadn't seen all those guys really play together. And then I think it's going to take them a while to gel anyway. But I just don't see them. I think it'll be Denver. And to be honest with you, I don't see Denver going to the Western Conference Finals. I really don't.
Interesting.
I don't know who will, but it may not be Denver. I just don't. They just don't look that strong to me. And I watched them against Dallas, and I don't know what it is, but maybe once they get healthy, maybe once Phoenix gets healthy, they'll be better. But with the little trades and the things that Dallas does, and I love that, and the media really hypes it up too. There seems to be a bit of a rivalry between Luca and Booker,
Booker, yeah.
and man, Luca gives it to him. Most of the time, he's giving it in Phoenix. But there again, he's giving it to everybody. And then whenever Kyrie, sometimes he just cuts loose, and is the two of them. Of course, they hadn't really stopped anybody from a defensive standpoint. But my goodness,
They're getting a little better though. They're new, with their new additions, they look a lot better on the defensive end. They look a lot better. So who, I guess, of the bottom feeders, who do you see being able to make a deep run? We turned to bottom feeders, cutting off at the play-in folk. Anybody beyond that?
what could be scary is Phoenix. What could be scary is Dallas. What could be, they could cause some problems for some teams. But
You could do.
because I don't think Denver will. I mean, excuse me. I don't think Phoenix will finish at even 4.
Yeah, I think in the East, though, I think if Boston doesn't do it, it's going to be between the Cavs and the Bucks. I think.
Watch out for playoff Butler.
Yeah, yeah. Miami's got a great culture. I got to give it to them.
Yeah.
They find a way. They find a way to be relevant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I'm checking your Wi-Fi situation. That's the problem with it right there. All that Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah.
Let's hear your opinions, Nate. It's gonna be interesting.
I say there's a
I'm,
couple of dark horses though. I'd say to watch out for, and that's on the west. I'd say New Orleans and Sacramento,
Oh yeah, New Orleans, they're looking better.
and then on the
yeah,
east, then your dark horses are New York and Indiana. I think.
yeah. I kind of think that Denver will be there, Western Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And Denver right
I,
now
I,
is the best #1 team in the West right now.
and I don't think the Lakers can make a deep run this year. I think defensively, they haven't been able to get it together. I think offensively they're not bad, but defensively they are. I mean, they're just a little bit
Lakers right now are number
away from being
9.
awesome. Uh,
Lakers are number 9 right now in the West. So.
yeah, and that's because I mean, if they could defend just a little bit, they could be better. They're laughable.
Mm-hmm.
And LeBron James, he's older player now, and every now and again he plays defense. When he plays defense, he's really good still. But most of the time, man, on the defensive end, he's a matter laughable. And and the team kind of follows him. If he shows up defensively, they show up. If he's taking plays off on the defensive end,
Mm-hmm.
they seem to follow suit. So I don't see them doing anything significant. And then of course AD is he's been a lot better this year, but
Mm-hmm.
he still has these disappearances, like when he plays against the more physical players, like for instance, when he plays against Sabonis,
Yeah.
man, Sabonis just wiped the floor with him.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the big boy from Houston, the big young boy from Houston. I forgot his name. His name escaped me. Their center. Same
Sequin.
thing. Say it again. Yeah, yeah,
Sequin.
yeah. He kicks AD's butt. AD struggles against these physical players. That's the reason why Jokic just gave him the blues.
Mm-hmm.
Jokic is a big man, play like a big man. In terms of when he's on the box, AD has nothing for those big, strong guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which really speaks more to the Lakers, to Darvin Ham's inability to. Hey man, you can't. AD is not. He's not a center. He never really wanted to play center. And now you kind of know why. He's tall, but he's really not a center.
Nah, he's
I
more.
don't see the Lakers making a deep run. And then as far as Dallas, it wouldn't surprise me if Dallas was able to make it to the Western Conference Finals, man.
Man.
It really would not surprise me at all. They're that potent offensively.
I say this though. It's time for them to move Tim Hardaway Jr. He is, for a shooter coming off the bench and everything, that guy that's supposed to give you that spark, he is the most inconsistent. He's had a bad year. He hadn't had a good year. He's shooting, and
Every time I see him,
he's missing shots.
when I usually see him, man, he usually looks really good, man, to me when I see him.
The games I watch, because I get to see a lot more Dallas games here, obviously.
It's hard though too to one could argue, man, that he could be in the starting lineup, and it's hard to it's harder to get consistent play coming off the bench than it is being in the starting.
Where could he be in the starting lineup? Definitely not in Dallas. If Kyrie or Tim Hardaway, come on, man.
I mean, they could. I mean, keep in mind they play them cats together a lot of times. A
And
lot of
that
times they
guy,
play
that
them
kid,
together.
what's his name, Green? That man, that boy, he's playing way above Hardaway. It's not even close. It's
So I
not.
don't know, man, but
I,
I think I see Dallas making a. I can see them making a deal run because I don't see very many teams being able to defend against Luka and Kyrie and company. I don't see. That's a whole lot to stop. It's a lot of firepower to stop, man. I mean, you got
Yeah,
two cats to get a bucket, man, any day of the week.
they got Tim Hardaway according to the coverage, in terms of best six man as the number six man of the NBA right now.
he's ranked number 6, and I've watched several games here lately, and he's just been in a slump. It's like, get him out. They take him out the game, they win.
Yeah,
They're losing with him in the game
Let
because
me ask you this,
shots.
Sean. Why are you looking at that? Where is Torian Prince rated as a six man? Like last?
I don't know. Doesn't have Torrey and Prince on here.
So they ain't rating him as six man. They probably rating him as a starter.
Your top six man right now is Malik
Uh,
Monk out of Sacramento.
isn't that a joke? That's a Lakers baller, but go ahead, Malik Monk. Yeah.
And then Norman Powell is your number two out
Who
of
is?
Norman Powell for the Clippers.
Yeah, okay. I can. And then
Nas,
Nas.
Nas Reed from the
Yeah, Nas.
Wolves. Bobby Portis from the Bucks.
Yeah.
Karis LeVert from the Cavs.
I don't agree with that one.
The games I saw, he's played well.
And then after Hardaway, the next two that they say are Bogan
Jan
for the Hawks and then Jordan Clarkson from the Jazz.
I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that. Not really. Then Nas been playing so well, man. Oh man, Nas ripped AD to pieces.
Yeah, I've been watching him. Yeah, he's playing pretty good.
Unbelievable. Yeah, he's really good ball player. So yeah. I couldn't really argue with that too much. I probably though would put Nas ahead of the boy from the Clippers. I probably have to put Nas in the number 2 place. You know.
Do you know, going back to Malik Monk, and he played well with the Lakers.
He did play well.
Let him go.
Yeah.
And he's shown I like his game solid.
Ooh, goodness. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, he probably wasn't the best one to get rid of. They probably should have thought about that one a little bit more. But I mean, the Lakers, man, they've shown they don't have patience with players, and the ones they have patience with, I don't understand. I don't understand, like for example, Torian Prince. I do not understand. I mean, but then again, look at Caldwell Pope. Caldwell Pope had this really bad year, where he was hitting the side of the backboard with the ball, and they said, you know what, you out of here. And then Caldwell Pope came back and hurt him, man, got him another ring. So it's so hard, man, and it's hard to figure out, what it is exactly, man. And I think a lot of it has to do with the offense too, the flow, the way that ball moving and popping. The Lakers offense, man, they brand the basketball, man. They need a coach, man. They need somebody who can help them get that ball to pop, man. That sticking offense, man. They play an ugly brand of basketball. It's like Kevin Durant said something before. He said one thing he liked about Golden State was, man, they play such a beautiful brand of basketball. And when you look at Golden State, man, here of late, man, that ball be popping so much, man. I mean, they look so good. It's like it don't matter who they throw on the floor, man. That ball is popping. Now they don't have the talent, per se that they once had, but because of the way they got such good ball movement, that ball popping, the offense, man, they're able to win games that's beyond their talent to me. So it makes it makes a big difference. But I say that to say this: I look at all these players, man, that the Lakers have seemingly given up on or shipped out, and most of them go elsewhere, man, and are pretty good players. And I mean, think about it, man. Brandon Ingram, man, he's a star. You
Yes.
know,
Good.
Malik Monk, man, he could be somewhere else, starting, to be honest, but hey, he's thriving in that 6-man role. So right now, it's no point in starting him because he's giving you starter production. Um, man, you look at the oh God, I'm sorry, I forgot the boy's name, man. But he was hurt. But over with the Bulls, he looks nice. The only one that they got rid of, man, to be honest, man, that I guess yeah, you probably should have got rid of when you look at because of his injury history. All of a sudden, man, is the Ball boy.
Mm-hmm.
Ball is, man. He's been hurt like going on 2 years now, right?
Yeah.
And then Kyle Kuzma, he's still up and down. He was up and down with the Lakers, and he's up and down with the Wizards. But I mean, it's something about, man. But they give up on players too well, and they don't draft very well. Because when you figure, man, they could have had Jason Tatum. I mean, oh my, oh man, when you think if they you know took Ball over Jason Tatum, man, it's just that's just asinine. And the thing is that everyone knew that at the time. No one but Magic Johnson, thought that was a good decision.
Um, he was promoted well by his dad.
Yeah, but Magic Johnson, man, Magic Johnson bought that crap hook, line, and sinker, man. And I don't know how that one's hard to explain though, because that's real hard to explain. Why you took Alonzo Ball over Jason Tatum is very difficult to explain. It's like that's impossible to explain. There's no explanation for that.
But you know what teams will do, and they shouldn't, but they'll do this all the time. They'll say, we're going to go and we need a point guard, or we need a big man, or we need. What I think you do or should do is you go get the best player available. So what if you have, uh, uh, um, you know, you already have a Steph Curry, but if there's another kid out there who's available, and there's a Trey Young coming out who, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he's Steph Curry, but he's a bad boy, and he's available, and there's a Kevon Looney. You get to Trey Young. I'm sorry, just that's me.
Speaking of Trey Young, so the Lakers trying to go after Trey Young this summer. I'm not high on Trey Young. I see that to be a mistake. I don't even see it fitting. It doesn't fit their brand of basketball. Think about this. LeBron is an aging player. So you're going to pair Trey Young with AD?
Mm-hmm.
Really? He had Collins, and that didn't work that well. Like, AD is not much more than Collins.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, the Lakers, something wrong with them, man. Trey Young is, I get it. He's a Clutch Sports client, which is the reason why I guess they're trying to, he's not that.
I think he's a heck of a ball player.
I'm not drafting. I'm not picking him. I'm leaving
You
him right
know,
there in Atlanta.
and don't get me wrong. Now, keep in mind, it was the Mavs when they came out. It was Luca and Trey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that right now, again, and that's nearly as bad as. Actually, it's about the same thing. Alonzo Ball, Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic, Trey Young. To me, that's about that's about equivalent. I'm not taking looking at it in hindsight now, especially on no day of the week, at no time of night, in the midnight hour with sleep in my eyes, am I seeing Trey Young over Luka Doncic? Can't see it. And the same thing with the Jason Tatum and the Alonzo Ball thing. To me, it's like the same thing. Alonzo Ball is not a bad player. He's not a bad player. Trey Young, not a bad player, but it's not even close.
But who do they get instead of getting Trey Young?
I stand pat before I done that. What are you going to get him for? What is he going to do? He can't think about this. The dude can't guard the wall. Okay. Number one, what's the biggest problem you have right now? Being able to stop the point of attack. You need a guard that can guard. I see no point in getting Trey Young at all. I don't see how to help you. Look at D'Angelo Russell's play. D'Angelo is not a super stud, but he's playing good. He's been serviceable. He's a little up and down. He's been more up than down lately. Not far off of Trey Young, if you ask me, to be quite frankly. Trey Young's overrated. I don't really believe him to be an all-star. I think he's a good player, but to me, he's not an all-star. And he shouldn't have been an all-star this year. You slighting players to make him an all-star. But so I think you leave that alone. I think you try to look somewhere else and find something else to take care of your needs, man. I think you need I think you really need to try to find. Yeah, you need to find a wing, a quality wing that can defend and shoot, or a real big man, or send the big men that you have to some sort of training camp or something, because charge them to get better. You got those athletic bigs you got sitting on the bench, but I don't see where Trey Young is going to help you much. Yeah, I don't see it because I just don't see it. I don't know how that works. I don't see that working any much better than the Russell Westbrook deal, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, not a good evaluation of mix and match talent. I think they would be better off, man. Computer screen went dark. I think they would be better off, man. Picking up Bronson, man.
Mm. Yeah, we'll
Put
see.
him in there, man. Let him come out, working with the pros, professionals, man, and he'd be ready to go next year.
Yeah, we'll see. It's all about talent evaluation too. They're saying with him.
Say it again.
It's all about the talent evaluation right now with him. So
yeah, and I really do. When you look at him, I think people don't know, but when you look at the league, man, a lot of cats could play in the league. Will you be a star in the league? It's a whole nother thing. And obviously, will you be a superstar? That's really a rare thing. But when I look at his overall skill set, he can play. And he's athletic. He can defend. He can knock down an open shot. Can he get better? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But for the sake of what you could do now, how you could get him now, I mean, you could get him, man.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because even if he entered the draft, he'd probably go undrafted. But I mean, you can get him. That's how you can get him. Since they wanted to see LeBron and his son play together. They can
Brian
get
wants
him.
him and his son to play together.
Yeah, LeBron wanted to see him and his son play together. But and LeBron is basically doing the same thing, Mr. Ball did, with his kid. Well, he's not. Let me take that back. He's not hyping his son up to that degree and going about it that way at all.
Not
But
even. Not
but
even.
through him being Bron, his exposure to his son. Come on, man. We wouldn't be hearing about Bron's son in the news like we hearing about. Dude, he finished the year averaging 4 points a game. Do we hear about how many players in college do you hear about that average 4 points?
Because it's Bron's kid.
Because
Right.
it's Bron's kid.
Right. Right.
So he's not the same thing, but he ain't go about it the same way. But through his exposure, because of who he is, eyes on him and the opportunities there. But I do think he could play still. I think he has the skill to play. But clearly, putting him in the league now would obviously be I mean, that would definitely be, man, because of power and influence. Even though it would definitely be because of influence that you wind up in the league. So,
Well,
but I
we
think he could play.
we need to start wrapping this up. So,
Yeah.
you guys want to make your final comments? Go ahead.
Oh,
I'm good.
I'm good right now. I think other than just let's go. Let's see who makes it to the NCAAs next week.
Yep, and hopefully, I'm hoping somehow that Justin Fields, will wind up either remaining at Chicago as the starter or either in Washington and Cleveland. I know that's both a long shot, but one of those three things. But I definitely don't want to see him go elsewhere and be somebody's backup. I think it's a crime.
Oh, I'm talking about backups. Did you see that move that Pittsburgh did with Philly? Sending
Say it again?
Pickett to Philly.
Yeah. Yeah, they got him out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to be the end of it either. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here for the week. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thank you guys for that very interesting hour. And coming up next on Crooked River tomorrow night, we have Radioactive, and that's going to be kind of a fun show tomorrow night. Since it's St. Patrick's Day, everything that we do is going to be St. Patrick's Day themed. Even Flora's Corners, I'm going to try to talk her into that. So she'll have some Irish questions for you. And then Monday night, not Tuesday, Monday night, we have Eric's show coming. Not sure. He told me he had a guest, but I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. So we will, I think he's got a guest. Like I said, he'll be on from, I think we agreed on 8 to 9. So something like that. Stay tuned for that. And then we'll be back here next Saturday with this show. Lord knows what we're going to come up with this one. Yeah, he's the one that guides us all the way anyway.
Amen.
And we will see everybody next week. Stay safe, stay dry. Keep your powder dry and your feet warm, and I think that's about all I got to say. Have a good one. This has been a Crooked River Media production.